earlier. I'm going to record this, Celine, if she's listening. I should have started recording earlier so you could get some of the earlier things I was saying, because what I was saying earlier was, in fact, training. Now, this is a presentation. This is not training. This is presentation. But you want to be on these presentations until you can do an effective presentation. See, there's a difference between doing a presentation and an effective presentation. See, some presentations are ineffective. So you want to get on these until you can do an effective presentation. So you can never get on the presentations enough. That's also a training issue, because many of you people will say to you, "Why do I need to get on it again? I was on it last night. I was on that last week. Aren't they going to do the same thing today they did last week? I was already on it." See, that's the person who needs training, okay? So let's go through this real quick. I hope you can hear me without me offending you. Listen, some of you know right now that Bitcoin is dominating the financial news. It's huge. In fact, the news right now, Bitcoin is on a little downswing. It's volatile. And I want to show you something that, here's what Richard Branson said. Richard Branson, I think most people in the UK, or at least many of them, they know who Richard Branson is, because he's big in Europe. And he's big all over the world, but he's really big in Europe. There was asking, Richard Branson was being interviewed about Bitcoin. And he said, "Well, I think it's working. People have made fortunes off Bitcoin. Some have lost money. It is volatile, but people make money off of volatility too." So that's the way smart people think. See, broke people say, "It's volatile, you can't make money. I'm not getting that. It's too volatile." You see? See, wealthy people have a different way of thinking. That's how they got wealthy. They don't think like poor people do. They just don't. Okay? By the way, you may not know it, but Richard Branson was what they call dyslexic. It means he couldn't read. If you know what dyslexia is, your eyes don't see the words correctly. They see the letters all mixed up. So in his childhood, they thought he was handicapped. The bad word is retarded. We don't use the word retarded anymore, but he was initially declared to be, untrainable because he couldn't read. See, but the bottom line is, when people want to be successful, if they got a big enough desire, they do it. He's one of the richest men in the world now, but he was in his early life. People thought he shouldn't go to school because he couldn't read. But I'm getting off track here, but the point I'm making for you is, listen, you have the ability to dramatically affect your own life. Bill Gates, another very wealthy person. Bitcoin is better than currency. Currency meaning dollars, fiat currency, pounds, euro currency. He says Bitcoin is better than that. You don't have to be physically in the same place for large transactions. With Bitcoin, he's saying for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. He means when you want to send thousands of dollars or tens of millions of dollars across different countries, it's hard to do with currency. But with Bitcoin, it's a blink. That's the thinking we need to get people to accept. Time magazine, all over the world, people respect Time magazine. Time says the elusive digital coin, your wallet without the government. See, wealthy people get it. Welcome to the crypto revolution. Here's another one, Forbes magazine. This is a magazine written for wealthy people. Poor people don't read Forbes magazine. People working at Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, they don't read Forbes. But wealthy people do. They rely on it. Well, Forbes says Bitcoin, the future, okay? Bottom line is this. Goldman Sachs, a worldwide trader in stocks, assets. Bitcoin is the new gold, a better safe haven asset, meaning it's better to store your assets in Bitcoin than gold, because Bitcoin is growing so much faster than gold. See, all those things we have access to, but we've got to hear it. Now, I want to try to play a video. I played this video before, and it didn't play. I'm not sure it played. It might be the way I got it. I got it from Celine. Celine is an IT techie. I admire her skills, but I copied it from her, and I played it in the US, and it didn't play. So I hope it plays here. Listen very carefully.
Want to know more about Bitcoin?
Gene, there's no sound.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I said. Okay. Now I got to get you to show me how to fix that. I thought I can hear it playing to me, but my audience couldn't hear. So I'm going to talk to you later on, figure out what am I doing that because it plays when you play it, doesn't it? When you play it in your meetings?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we'll talk later, but thanks for that. I didn't know it wasn't playing. I didn't know people weren't here because I'm watching it. I said, man, this is awesome. But anyway, let me move forward. That video, by the way, is in your is in your 337go.com. Another slide. You've seen this before. Billionaires are investing in and opening banks for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. That stuff is happening. So we've got to learn to follow these people. There are people who believe we are smarter than them because they will tell you getting involved in Bitcoin is stupid. It's a waste of your time. Why would you get in that mess? It's a scam. It's a trick. It's a pyramid. You hear all this crazy stuff, but you don't hear that from wealthy people unless they own banks. The people who own banks, the regular currency banks, they are complaining about Bitcoin because and cryptocurrency is taking their customers. See? So a lot of big bank owners, the CEOs, they've been downplaying the value of cryptocurrency. They don't want you to do it because when you have cryptocurrency, you don't need a bank. See? They're losing, people are moving their money from banks to cryptocurrency. You don't have to pay all those transaction fees that banks charge, all the interest rates, borrowing money from the banks, and paying a transaction fee with the bank every time you want to do something, and they're high. Having a debit card, a credit card that charges you fees just to have the card. See, they're already losing hundreds of millions of dollars already, and they can see themselves they're going to lose billions. So the banks have not been friendly to cryptocurrency. But what you see the banks doing now, they're starting to now adopt policies that allow them to use cryptocurrency more effectively because they see they can't fight cryptocurrency. They've got to play in the same game, and they're realizing it. I'm saying this to you because many talking to people who are downplaying your involvement with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They're downplaying it because they don't see the future. Wealthy people do. Bitcoin price reached $500,000, $500,000 realistically. That's where we're going. And it may take 5, 10, 12 years. I've heard that by the year 2030, which is about 12 years, 11 and a half years from now, they expect Bitcoin to be worth as much as $1 million per coin. Now that's 12 years from now. And some of you are so young, that ain't nothing. If you're in your 20s right now, in your 30s, or in your 40s, look at your future. If they say, listen, if they say it's going to hit $500,000, suppose they are wrong by 50%. Well, it still means it's going to hit $250,000 a coin. Would you be upset if you was hoping for $500,000 and hit $500,000? It only hit $250,000 a coin, and you were lucky enough to have 10 or 15 coins in the next 2 or 3 years. Would you be upset? I think not. I think you'd be dancing in your jeans, okay? And that's what we got to see. You got to see the volatility is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the way it is. Bottom line is the media right now, the media is doing our marketing for us. They're saying, and it's creating a lot of curious people. Now, most people right now are crypto clueless. I mean, they don't understand. They don't know what's happening. They don't even believe it. They're not educated. They're just not informed. But there are some people who are crypto serious. They've moved from being crypto clueless to crypto curious to crypto serious. They're seeing it. You've seen this slide before. Very simple slide that talks about the growth of Bitcoin just in the last few years. You know, in 2012, didn't have much value. It grew a little bit more. A year later, 2014, one Bitcoin might have fed your family for a month or more. But last year, one Bitcoin grew to be worth more than $19,000. I don't know how much that is in pounds or euro, but they're predicting that Bitcoin is going to hit over $100,000 in the next couple of years. See? So right now is the time to buy Bitcoin. Right now, the smart people right now in the Bitcoin Club, we are pushing hard right now to enroll as many as we can right now while Bitcoin is cheap. See, it's cheap. It's only about $9,000, $8,000. I don't know what it's in pounds, 6, 7, whatever it is right now. It's cheap. It's cheaper than it was in December. So we're pushing people right now, man. Get people in right now. Sign them up right now because they can get in there for half of what we were paying 60 days ago. See, if you ever bought stocks, anyone's ever made an investment, here's what they'll tell you: buy low, sell high. You try to buy the stock when it's low, and then you sell it when it gets high. Same principle here. Right now, Bitcoin is low. Buy. I wish I had time to get into training. Anyway, listen, this is a club. It's not even a business. Some people see it as a business. This is a club. It's a private club. That's something that's got to stick in people's head. It is a club. This club is only about 8 months old. We're in the beginning of the beginning. That's why you're going to see a lot of changes being made. We are nowhere near a final product here. We're making money now. We're getting some good products out of this, some good Bitcoin out of it, but we're nowhere near what it's going to be in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next year. See, it's a private club, but it teaches you to take a little bit of money and leverage it up. You'll see that in a minute. How you can build multiple income streams all within the same club. How you can buy Bitcoin for free. See, you can't get Bitcoin for free, but you can buy it without paying those fees. You can get it without transaction fees. Some people don't even know that, see, because they're not in the training. Setting up offshore accounts, all these things, it's designed to help you save the money you make. See, it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep of what you make. And there are strategies that wealthy people use to keep more of their money. You probably heard this said that most wealthy people don't pay as much taxes as their secretary. Wealthy people know how to use the loopholes. They know how to use various systems, how setting up a variety of strategies so they can keep more of their money. Some secretaries pay a higher tax percentage than their bosses. Why? It's not illegal. See, if the secretary knew what the boss knew, the secretary could use the same strategy, but the secretaries don't know. We can know that stuff here. If your home income is not growing, we got to fix it. It gets back to having wealth principles that move you forward. Here's a slide, you've seen it before. This club is about 3 or 4 months old. They've paid out 145 Bitcoin. It started in July. By November, end of November, they paid out 1.4 million in Bitcoin. Now, 3 months later, from November to February, they paid out 1.3 million Bitcoin. 249 went from 1.4 million to almost 2.7 million. That's 1.3 million Bitcoin paid out in just 3 months. So you can't say this is not working. This is an instant Bitcoin member-to-member system. Here's a quick look at a slide where one guy got 3 payments the same 24-hour period. This is kind of small print, but no, this is December 13th. I know you guys read your dates different than we do. This is December the 13th. Y'all read it differently, but okay. And this is December the 14th. So in the 24-hour period, you got 3 payments. Then this is back in December when Bitcoin was a little bit higher, totaled about $900, just 3 payments. But look what happened in January. See, listen, 1 month later, this is January the 9th. This is not the 1st of September. This is January the 9th. You guys read it differently. This is January the 9th, 6 payments the same day, over $5,300 in 1 day. People, that's happening. So why is it not happening to some of you? You've got to get the training. You got to learn how to invite. You got to learn to use language the right way. Some of you are inviting, but just not doing it properly. But you don't know that. You think you are. You're doing your best. Because by what I said earlier, if you're doing your best, but you're not succeeding, you got to make your best better. Bottom line is, here's the point. This is what you're all after. You're not after this down here. I think most in the UK now are teaching it. We've been teaching it for a long time over here. We teach people to start, we call it the fast track strategy. It means the advanced strategy. It means you start, instead of starting with just 0.0165 for the starter, you do 0.0620. And you pay both of these positions at the same time, starter and level 1. The reason is you've got too many people trapped in starter and level 1. We've got thousands of people right now sitting on starter. Thousands. They're sitting on starter. See? Because they don't know. They're not coming to training, or they've come to training 1 time. See, if you want to be a nurse, you don't go to just 1 class. Okay, I've been to class. Now give me my needles and stuff. I'm going to be a nurse now. If you want to learn how to drive a car, you don't take just 1 lesson. See? You want to be an airline pilot? You want to be a surveyor? A school teacher? You don't just take 1 class. Think. Training is continuous until you achieve proficiency. You don't take a couple of classes or read one book and all of a sudden you would be a neurosurgeon. I read a book on psychiatry, so now send me some patients. I'm going to practice psychiatry. I read the book. No. See, we've got to train people. The money is not even here. Now, it starts in here good. It starts in here. But it really doesn't really start to get good to level 4. Because see, at levels 2 and 3, you're earning 10%. You get to keep 10%. Notice that when you go from level 1 to level 2, let me go back, I'm sorry. Didn't mean that my computer's real sensitive. When you go from level 1 to level 2 is 10% of a Bitcoin. You earn 12% of a Bitcoin in level 1. So you took 10% of it and moved to level 2. Many people are sitting right here. They don't want to take the 10% to go here, see? But when you go to level 2, you start earning 10% because level 2, it generates 30% of a Bitcoin, but it only costs 20% to move to level 3. So you get to keep 10% of a Bitcoin. Level 3 is the same thing. Level 3, it generates 60% of Bitcoin. It costs 20% to get here, but it generates 60%. But it costs 50% to go to level 4. So you get to keep 10%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But the money really gets good at level 4 because now you're keeping a half Bitcoin. See, it costs a half Bitcoin to get here, but it produces 1.5 Bitcoin. It only costs 1 Bitcoin to go to level 5, so you get to keep half a Bitcoin. And besides, when you're keeping this half a Bitcoin, you're still keeping level 3 money. You're still keeping level 2, level 1, and starter. But this got to be taught. It's got to be drained in people's heads so they see there's no value in sitting down here. Now, I call this welfare money. I don't know if you have welfare in the UK. I want to ask Celine sometime, do they have welfare in the UK? But this is what I call survival money. Welfare money is just money to survive on. You don't have a good quality of life on welfare. You get enough to feed yourself and kids. You don't even get enough money on welfare to buy shoes. It's survival money. That's what this is here. It's not living income. It's surviving. So how do you do it? When you join, you're going to be at the top of your community or your matrix. You always change levels. You always start out at the top. And with this design, if you're new today, if you're a guest here today, I implore you, accept the fact that this can make you a ton of money. You got to accept that because you will be told by your friends that it doesn't work. They don't see what you see. You cannot expect people who have not seen this to believe like you. So it's very important we help new people see. They got to see past their reservations. They got to see past their fear because they've never done anything like this before. And the constant noise in your head will be, that's a waste of time. It doesn't work. But you've got to believe that with somewhere in Europe, you could find 2 people who believe they can make some money. You got to find 2. Hang on, I'm gonna mute again. When you come online, I'm gonna ask you to, hang on, sorry. When you come online, please mute yourself out. Somebody just joined, okay? You got to believe that with training, you got to believe deep in your heart that it's easy to find 2 people who can find 2 people. See, when you find 2 who find 2, that's a cycle. We've got thousands in the team in the UK that have never cycled. They're still stuck at starter. Why? Think about it. All it is finding 2 people who enroll 2 people. That's all it is. Make sure your 2 enrolls 2. I'm going to train on this in deep, deep stuff on Saturday for the corporation, for the entire company. There's you got an email today. Everybody in the company got an email today. Not from me, from Wall Street, the corporation. We're asking everybody because see, none of you, if you got a team, you don't have the emails and contact for everybody in your team, unless the only one in your team is somebody you personally enrolled. If you enroll 2 people and they didn't enroll anybody, then you've got their emails. But that's not a way to here. So we can't reach our entire team. So I've now got Wall Street to understand. He's got to send emails to everybody so people find out about it. See? So when you enroll just 2 people, they don't have to be in your city. They ain't got to be in London. They don't got to be in Wales. They don't have to be in Kent, Canterbury, Manchester, Birmingham, Leicester. They don't even have to be in Europe. They can be anywhere in the world. So you got to realize you got to find two people. And you ought to do that the same day. But you got to find two people who also will do what you did. Don't stick Grandma and Uncle Sally in, Aunt Sally in, Aunt Sally, who are 97 years old. They're not going to do it. That's what some of you are doing. Some of you are sticking in two people, just say, I got mine too. See, we got to train you past that. Because once you do this, that's a cycle. Now, what I want to teach you to do real quick, I'm rambling because I'm trying to reach. I know that in the UK, I feel bad because in the UK, you had some so-called leaders that really didn't help their team. I feel bad about that. I really do. We had people that we believed in them, and they tricked their team. They just enrolled people and never let them get trained. Didn't invite them training, didn't think they needed training. And so their teams are dying. I feel bad about that. I do. I feel bad about that because it shouldn't happen. So you need to have people who believe that the best way to make money is to help somebody else make money. But you can't. We had some leaders that when they enroll somebody, all they saw is a dollar sign. I enroll somebody, I got my money, and that's it. See, you can't look at people as to what they can do for you. You have to look at people as to what you can do for them. That's how you build a successful team. When you enroll somebody, your job is, how can I help you? Don't get excited because they joined and you got a payment from Bitcoin. That's not the way you want to think. When you enroll somebody, your job is to help them. That didn't happen in the UK, and it happened on a mass scale. So people failed. And people tried, but they never had anybody that believed in them enough to offer them some training. That's what we're doing now. So we've got to rebuild your team, because many of you enroll people, your best people, you enroll them and they fail and never got training, so they quit. So you're now thinking you're dead. You think you can't do it. No, we're just in the beginning. You want to get them in an advanced strategy. That means start them the right way, so they come with both starter and level 1 at the same time. That's the way you want to do it. So they cycle both. They cycle both and level 1 at the same time. See, each level requires 6 people, but you have to cycle the previous level to get to the next level. Now, I'm not going to go into details on that right now. I'm going to cover that in training. But here's the point. We got to teach people when they come in, if they're coming in to get Bitcoin. Now, here's the other thing. Many of you are missing the real value behind this club, which is really the information. See, we've had people come in, make Bitcoin, and spend it. That's because they're not educated on finances. See, some of you may have heard of people who made millions in music as musicians or in sports, and they go broke 2 or 3 years after they retire, 5 years after they retire, they're broke. They made tens of millions of dollars, but no one ever taught them how to make their money make money. So they spend it. See, we've got people here right now. They get a couple hundred pounds, €1, and they go out and buy a new pair of shoes. They go buy a new suit. They haven't learned to make their money make money. That's the secret of leverage here that we're teaching. They're missing the information. See, because when you join, everyone you enroll, they personally follow you from board to board, level to level. And when you personally invite, but not only do they follow you, their teams follow you. So as you're making the money, you don't want to be sitting on the same level. You want to be elevating. See, you don't want to just be looping. That means cycle over and over the same level. That's what we call looping. When you cycle level 1, you go back and cycle it again. That's called looping. See, once you cycle the first time, you go back and you cycle it over and over again. You don't have to move forward. But that's looping. That's not elevating. The money is not in the looping. The money is in the elevating and looping. See, that's what we got. That's training. So if you get that, I'm trying to hit your heads. I'm trying to get something in your head right now that will stick inside your ears. Some of it goes in one ear and out the other. I'm trying to use it sticks. Bottom line is, you got to learn to build a team. It's got to be kept simple. Too many in your team are trying to explain the business from what they heard. I'm talking today, I've been on this call over 30 minutes. I always go too long. Been here 30 minutes. See, people will join this, then they go out and they try to explain what I said to them for 30 minutes. And they don't realize that won't build their team. Now that sounds like a contradiction in terms. If that's what I said to them, why shouldn't they say it to their people? It seems unfair to say that. Because I said to you, don't say it to them. It's a question of, it takes time to learn how to effectively explain the club. That's the issue, see? But anyone can learn how to keep a very simple, what we call peak and pass. We call this peaking and pass. You peak their interest and pass them off to either a presentation or the website. We call that peaking and pass. You peak, this is a peak. What do you know about Bitcoin? That's piquing their interest. Then whatever they say, you pass them off to the club. To this website. Or you pass them off to the presentation. There's going to be another presentation tonight at 10 p.m. I think the Lift Doctor, Tony, is going to do it tonight at 10 p.m. You need to get on there early with guests. See? So you pique somebody's interest tonight. When I finish up at 8:30, 8:45, you got an hour and a half to pique somebody and pass them to the night's presentation. See? And the way you do it, just ask a question. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Adesua. Hey, Claude. Emmanuel. Listen, I'm glad I caught you. Listen, I only got a minute, Emmanuel. Listen, I need to ask a question. You got a minute, Claude? Charity? She says, yes. Listen, what do you know about Bitcoin? That's called a peak. You're piquing their curiosity. Pique means raise their interest, get them interest. That's what pique means. Create interest. That's what it means, okay? So you ask, what do you know about Bitcoin? That's designed to raise their interest. See? Now, when they answer, it doesn't matter what they say. The idea is to pass them off to someone who knows more than you. In this case, it's Tony tonight at 10 o'clock. Or it's the website. If you learn this process and teach this in your team will grow faster because they can learn. This is easier to learn than learning how to explain the business. I'm going to cover this in great detail on Saturday. Your goal here is to bring at least 2, help at least 2, get at least 2. But don't limit yourself to 2. Too many people they set their goal is, I got to get 2 people. I've had people call me up and say, Gene, I got mine too. When they say that to me, I know right away, oops, we failed that guy. We failed, he doesn't understand. I got mine too. No. What you can say is, I enrolled my first 2. That's the key, because we're all going to have people who join and won't do what we wish they would do. When you enroll more than 2, you create what we call spillover. And the other person you enroll will still be in your team, but will fall under someone who has less than 2. That creates income down below you, which flows up to you. When you create people down below you cycling, guess what they do? When they cycle, they come to the next level, which in most cases is your level, or the level of somebody in your team. All of that pushes them forward to you. So you want to always have in your mind, I got to enroll at least 2. And you teach this to your team. In closing, the way to do that is 327go.com. Real simple to join. Get the link of your sponsor, whoever invited you today. Ask them for that link. Remember, you can get in for free. So if you're here today as a guest, I'm glad you're here as a guest. I know I talk fast. I know I got a strange accent to you. But remember, don't allow anything I say cause you to think you cannot do this. That would be a mistake. Anyone can do this, but not everybody will do it. Because as I said earlier in the beginning, all success is uphill. Some don't want to climb, because climbing uphill requires some discipline. You can't succeed on the same level of life you're on. All success in life, not just the Bitcoin Club, all success is uphill. So get the link, get in for free, look in the back office, learn some things. And once you do this, get the link and sign up, you're going to have a website in the back office that shows you how to get your link. See, in fact, when you first sign somebody up, have them skip this Bitcoin wallet. Just ignore that initially. Because once they get in the back office, they'll see a video and it shows them how to set up their free coin payments wallet. Then they move forward. So listen, this Saturday, 24th, 12 noon Eastern, which will be, I don't have it here, it'll be 4 p.m. to you. Oh, I made a mistake here. This is 245. I put an extra, no, forget it. I was typing this up today, y'all, so forgive me. But at 12 noon Eastern, it's going to be at 4 p.m. UK time. I've been asked to do the training for the corporation. So you got an email in your back office. If you're in this club, you got an email, and it gave you the details for Saturday's training. It's global. I'm doing it for the U.S., but anyone can get on. If you have, clear your calendar. My suggestion would clear your calendar. Don't go shopping earlier. Get home and get on this training on Saturday. We're going to explode your business if you get the training. Now that's Saturday. On Sunday, I'll be doing training in the UK. In the UK, it'll be at 5 p.m. Sunday the 25th, 5 p.m. your time, because Sunday your clocks move ahead an hour. See, on Saturday, 4 hours time difference, because your clocks move ahead on Sunday morning. So on Saturday, there's 4 hour difference. 12 o'clock to us is 4 p.m. to you. But on Sunday, you move an hour ahead. So 12 p.m. to us is 5 p.m. to you. So, but you want to, now there's no email going out to the entire team telling them about this. This is not a corporate training. This is a training just for your team. So you've got to work a little harder getting this message to your team to get on training, because that's the only thing holding you up. The only thing stopping you from getting the Bitcoin is training. That's it. And I feel bad that I did my best. I talked to the leaders over there till I was blue in the face that people need training. I've been saying it since November. I begged them. December, January, I begged them, we got to do training. They never wanted to do training. Now, don't ask me why. You got to ask them that. But the team. And I really feel bad about it. And you can hear it in my voice. It frustrates me because it's not fair. So if people get training, they can win. Without training, they cannot. It is that darn simple. Having said that, listen, I want to say God bless you. By the way, the training on Sunday, here's your link for it, but that'll be in the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group does not have enough people to get the message out. That's another issue. But I may, on the Saturday training, I think I'm going to show this on the Saturday training. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this link. When I do the Saturday training, anybody who's on the Saturday training, I'm letting know we're doing training on Sunday for you. But again, most of your team will not be on the Saturday training, so they still won't get it. There is no email going out about the Saturday training. I may ask Wall Street to do that. I think I will have them send this link out to everybody to get on Saturday. I think I will do that. Listen, God bless you. I'm sorry I ran long. I mean, I go so long sometimes that I forget that we're on the clock. Get back on tonight for Tony. Tony's going to do a presentation at 10 p.m. tonight. They call him the lift doctor. That means something, see, because you lift, you rise by lifting others. That's a subtle hint. You rise by lifting others. Get on the presentation tonight with Tony, have a guest, and begin to realize that your future can be different if you plan it, okay? My intent is to help you plan it. God bless you. Have a great night. I'm going to end the recording right here now, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Have a great night.